Look how stunning. I know. I'm so obsessed with this. It's problematic, genuinely. Hi you guys, welcome back to the Clean Beauty Code. I'm so excited for this video because we're talking new makeup. We're talking about new makeup that I have on my eyes, my cheeks. I have so much good stuff. My lips. I'm obsessed with what's on my lips. I have some good stuff in this video. I would love to know down below, what products are you loving? What products are you seeing that are launching that you want me to review? Let me know down below. And if you have any good suggestions for TV shows, movies, stuff like that. I'm kind of in a action-y movie kick place, so if you have any good suggestions, let me know down below. And yeah, I just want to jump into this video and get started. So if you're excited for this video and more videos like this, then please like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this full face of new makeup. New makeup, let's get into it. I'm excited. First things first, we have a new tinted sunscreen. So this one is from Live Tinted. They actually sent me this, and this is their Glotion, and it's meant to be a sheer kind of flexible shade up, like range. There's only 2 shades, so I don't know why I said range. 2 shades option for your complexion. Now, I was anxious with it only having 2 shades. However, this is very sheer, so I can see how you really don't need more than that. Maybe I would add 1 more shade in here, but it really does go on really sheer, and I'm going to show you. It's an SPF of 50. It's a mineral sunscreen, and again, 2 shades. So this is the darkest of the 2 shades here, which when I saw that, I was like, girl, what? But then I applied it and I was like, oh, okay. I did also have someone who is darker than me try this shade out, and see when they kind of blended it out, if it left a cast on them, and it didn't. So that's really nice. At least we don't want another kind of Tower 28 sunscreen situation on our hands where it says it's going to be basically sheer or clear, and when people with kind of the darker and deep complexions try it out, it looks like chalk on them. So I was excited to see that it did not have that effect, at least on this person. So I'm going to apply this to my face, and I actually really like the feeling of this. This has a really nice slip to it, which is ideal. Now I'm applying a lot. I put a lot on the back of my hand because this is going to be my sunscreen for the day. I'm not wearing sunscreen underneath it. So we have a lot of product on, but gotta protect my skin. And I'm just gonna blend with my fingers and kind of drag it down. And it really, a very little bit of this goes a long way. But again, if you are wearing it as your only sunscreen and you're not wearing anything underneath it, apply enough. And enough is about, I should have showed you how much I applied, but you can kind of see on the back of my hand here, the remnants. It was kind of a whole big dollop right there. So the right amount to apply when you're only wearing your tinted sunscreen and nothing underneath it is a nickel to quarter size amount. I went with kind of no, this is like a quarter size, maybe a little bit less than a quarter size amount. And I really made sure to like dollop it on and then blend it out. And you can really see this really doesn't leave like a true like tint or anything like that. It kind of is just like a sheer in passing kind of vibe, and it gives you a nice glow to the skin, but it isn't illuminating, if that makes sense. It doesn't, at least from what I notice on myself, I don't notice any kind of shimmer particles or anything like that, which I was excited about because sometimes you just don't want that. Now this does take a second to kind of like set down. It does set down, but it takes a second. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go on with a new concealer. Well, it's a new shade of a concealer. This is the Live Tinted Concealer, and this is in the shade 15. 15. My original shade I have here is the shade 16, and I'll do swatches of both of them side by side because I know a lot of people are my complexion. So this one right, oh, so this one right here is 16. And I'm going to show you 15. 15 is so light. I really wanted something a little bit more brightening and a slightly different tone. So these are the two shades here. So this one right here is the shade 15. They also changed the wand. The wand used to be a brush and now it is a sponge tip applicator. I feel like that's what it's called. I don't know though. I could be lying. Made that up. But that's what that looks like. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a combo of the two. And yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of 16, just a little bit. And then also a touch of 15. And mix them together. This is the shade that I get with that. And then I'm going to place it right here. And I'm going to let that sit for about a minute and then we're going to blend it out. So give me a minute and then we'll be back to blend it out. And then hopefully the base has set down a little bit so we can move on to our bronzer, blush, and all of that. All right, it's been about a minute. So we're going to blend it out with this brush here. And I'm just going to tap it in. I love this concealer and the way it feels under the eyes. It's so nice. I just love the way that this makes my under eyes look. You'll have to let me know down below what you think. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to set my face or anything just yet. I'm in studio lights. It's warm here, so I want you to be able to see kind of how everything dews up. Next up, we have a new shade of a bronzer. So this is the LY's Beauty matte bronzer. It's their powder bronzer in the shade Courage. Look how pretty this is. Let me do a swatch on... I love these bronzers because they're packed in the pan really nicely, so it doesn't like fluff everywhere, which is really nice. I hope you can see. Okay, I am doing a terrible job. There we go, there we go. I hope you can see now. So that is the bronzer shade. Although it doesn't look that crazy in the monitor I'm seeing, it is a little bit dark for at least how tan I like my to look. I'm gonna dip in with this brush here. Oh, this is, I have to show you this brush. This is from LY's Beauty. This is their powder brush. They actually sent me this. I love this brush. It's so nice. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna tap off some of it because I don't like to be overly bronzed, but their bronzer is so pigmented in the best way, so it does get away from you real quick. So I'm just gonna very lightly kind of tap it on to the face. I don't want, I'm holding the brush towards the back. I don't want too much powder on, or powder bronzer on, but I do, look how pretty that shade is, that look. Can you see? It gives the most I'm not dipping back in, it gives the most beautiful bronze. And I'm just, again, I'm kind of just tapping it on my face and then I'll kind of build up from what I'm kind of currently laying down to add more, but I want to make sure I'm not overdoing it. So now I'm going to tap back in. So I have this much on the brush and then we're going to tap it off because I always go so heavy-handed with products and press too hard, which is why holding the back of the brush is ideal. I press so hard and then I'm like, wait, how did this get away from me so fast? Just love their bronzers. They just melt into the skin really nicely. And they're really nice for setting down cream bronzers because they play really well with other powders, but also other creams. I am a really, really big fan. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this all kind of settle in before we move on to our new blush, which you guys, I'm jazzed about. So while we wait for that to kind of marinate and do its thing, I'm actually gonna put a little bit of this bronzer on my eye, just right here. Just kind of all over the lid and then just in the crease. I feel like it's a really good shade match for my kind of natural eyeshadow that I have, since my lids are a little bit darker than the rest of my face. I feel like it's a good match with it, like tone wise, so it doesn't create too much orangeness on my lid. Sometimes the tones can just not match and then be a little too orange, and then you have to course correct. But this one you don't have to, or at least I don't have to. You might have to, because this might be way too orange for you. I'm gonna dip in with this brush here, and I'm actually gonna pull it on my lower lash line. Now we're talking new blush, and I was so excited when I saw this. This is from BareMinerals, and this is their Blonzer, but liquid. So you know how they have their powder Blonzers, which I love. I have 4 shades. I know I have a problem. I know, and the problem is me. But they came out with a liquid, and I immediately put it in my cart. I got the shade Kiss of Rose, which isn't my most used shade. My most used shade is Kiss of Pink, and then also Kiss of Mauve. This is kind of my third most used, but this shade is so stunning that I just felt like I needed it in the shade. And then I'll probably buy the other ones, because I, again, have a problem. But I was very excited. So this is, what's the full name? Their Complexion Rescue Blonzer. Blush plus bronzer. And a very little bit of this goes a long way. Don't get carried away, people, because the first time I used it, I got so carried away, I looked insane. I looked like someone let a clown loose. But look how look how stunning. I know. I'm so obsessed with this. It's problematic, genuinely. But it is so beautiful. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to apply with a brush. Such a little bit of this goes a long way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dip in with this brush here. Already stressed. I feel like I'm overdoing it, so I'm gonna tap off. Look at the tap off even. Do you see? That is me having tapped off product, girl. And I'm gonna just very lightly hold the back of the brush again. Do you see already? It's so pretty. The good thing about this is it does blend out. Once you apply it, you're not stuck for life, which is ideal. But you know, it's still important to not press too hard or over apply. Look how stunning that is though. I just love it so much. I dip in again, and then again take some off on the side of my hand, and then apply it to the other side. Blush is on. What do you guys think? It's so beautiful. I really want, I'm gonna put a little bit more on the back of my hand because I removed what was on there. I want you guys to be able to see. I'm gonna blend it fully out just so you can see the sheen. Can you see that? It has such a healthy glow to it, but when you get close to it, it doesn't look glittery. It is so beautiful. I am obsessed. And again, that is it fully blended out. Like, I did that with it. But if you don't kind of blend it out that amount, you get so much pigment. We're going to wait for that to marinate, sit down, do its thing before I go on with the Kiss of Rose powder blush. So we're going to move back to the eyes, and you guys are so excited to get my hands on this. This is from About Face, and this is their eye paint. And what is the name? Fracture is the shade. And when I saw the container, I immediately knew I picked the right shade, because I love that the About Face stuff, the outside correlates with the shade inside, so it's so easy to tell kind of the vibe of the shade. But let me just show you. Look at that. It's so beautiful. So the way I like to use this, because she sets down, and when she sets down, she is there all day. But I like to just kind of in the middle of my eye, apply a little bit. We're going to build up, but apply a little bit and then blend. Look at that. It blends so easily and it is so stunning, the sheen. It's actually crazy. So with this, I work relatively fast. I don't take my time at all because she does dry down. And then you're stuck. So I do blend with my finger. I find that to be the easiest way to apply this. And then I'll go over with a brush, like around the edges. And yeah, that's kind of the way I like to do it. So I just kind of apply and build up and then get the amount of sheen and glitter I want. It is so beautiful. And this stays put all day. At least on my lid it does. And I do have a relatively oily eyelid and I don't put primer down with this. I mean, I've tested it with primer and it works really, really well with primer, but I don't feel the need to apply this with a primer. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take a very little bit on this brush here. And I'm actually going to, I know, am I applying too much shimmer? Yeah. Will I regret it? No. And I'm going to just kind of place it close to the lash line. And it just gives a little bit of a little bit of a sheen to the lash line, and I feel like it really makes your eyes pop. Let me just really show you what this shade looks like, because I feel like what I did on my back of the hand didn't do it justice. I mean, look how stunning that is. And I feel like it's a really good year-round shade. It is so beautiful. And the shimmer in it isn't too gold or too silver. It's kind of a perfect balance, at least in my opinion. You have to let me know what you think down below. I'm obsessed with this eyeshadow. And I need to buy more shades because I feel like they have these really beautiful like turquoise and shades like that. And I feel like things that don't move, like when this sets down, things that don't move that are really pigmented in color or really bright in color are ideal, because sometimes you get something, but the shade, like the actual product it moves around. The shade's great, but it kind of moves around and it makes you nervous. With this, you don't have that, which is great. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take this eyeliner from Victoria Beckham Beauty in the shade Cocoa. And I'm gonna just line my lash line. And then just very lightly smoke it out. And just by smoke it out, I mean just kind of, yeah. Just so it blends a little bit nicer and it isn't such a stark line. Very happy with that. Now we're gonna move back to the cheeks because I feel like this has sit long enough. We gotta go on with some powder blush. And this is, again, in the shade Kiss of Rose, which is so stunning. Ooh, I should do a side-by-side of them. Genius. It is such a pretty shade. Did you just see how nicely that applied? Okay. Love you. And that is them side by side. So the liquid one, although it looks like it's a little bit more red here when I'm looking in the monitor, in person it really doesn't look like that. They look relatively similar, or even they look like a match. It's just that one has sheet, like it's kind of more wet looking. I hate that, but it's more wet looking. I do really enjoy the liquid, and I like layering it up. It's really nice. I will say, I feel like the liquid, I mean, does on its own, when it's not set with the powder, I do feel like it fades a little bit faster than the powder, but creams always fade faster than powder, so that's not shocking. Now what we're gonna do, and take this brush, one touch, one. I'm already stressed, look at, that was one touch. And then just take some off, take it all off. So we're gonna, yeah, take enough off, and then we're gonna just lightly pat, because when you kind of swipe and that, you're going to disrupt everything underneath, and we don't want to do that. Look how beautiful it is. I'm obsessed. I'm not going to dip back in just yet. I'm going to see with what's left on the brush if I'm happy. I mean, the healthiest looking cheeks of all time. What do you guys think? I do want to add a little bit more powder, but I don't want to, again, so this is what the brush looks like right now. One dab. We're just gonna press. I'm already stressed. And then that's how much you get. And it's not a super, super fluffy product, but the pigmentation really is there, so just don't overdo it, especially with this shade here, Kiss of Rose and Kiss of Copper. They are, I mean, they're all super pigmented, but they are definitely, of the ones I have, the most pigmented. Look at that. I'm so obsessed. This combination of these two products is kind of everything I wanted it to be, which is amazing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back in with this brush here. There's not anything extra or new on it. We're just, again, going to just go around the edges because we want everything to be, okay, can my hair figure it out? We want everything to be really seamless. I just love the combination. You have to let me know what you think of the shades because I am jazzed. Now what we're going to do, inner corner highlight, and this one is also from About Face, and this is in the shade, what, before I say, I said the wrong shade last time. It's in the shade Lotus Leaf. I think I called it Pearly because it says in the bigger letters here, it says Pearly. If you can see, so I don't look crazy. It says in the bigger letters here, Pearly, and then in the most minuscule letters possible, it says Lotus Leaf. Hello, put the shade name bigger. But anyways, so I'm gonna just apply, the shade Lotus Leaf is so stunning. I'm just gonna apply it right in the inner corner. Now we're gonna go on with mascara before we go on with our new lip product, and I'm gonna go on with a combination of these two, which is the current love of my life. So I'm gonna apply a coat of the House Labs one first. And we're gonna do the Jones Road Beauty Mascara. Loving this eye look. You have to let me know what you think down below. I didn't powder my under eyes. I did a coat of the Jones Road Beauty Mascara on my lower lashes. I don't feel like I need to set my under eye with powder today, but if it was a really sweaty day, today's shockingly not hot, I would set my under eyes and my T-zone just to kind of make sure everything looks good. But I do want you to see I am in studio lights, and I want you to be able to see kind of how everything's holding up. The Live Tinted Glotion, it does set down, and it does take a little bit of time, like I said, but once it sets down, I don't necessarily feel like I need to be powdering my T-zone, and I have an oily T-zone. For me, at least, it doesn't get too dewy. By the end of the day, it might be a touch glowier, especially on hot days. On hot days, we're just glowing no matter what. We put nothing on our skin, we're glowing. But it doesn't get too dewy, at least on my skin it doesn't. Now let's move on to the lips, and we have a few shade options, which I feel like is really fun. This is from Queen Musia. This is their lip tint, like Hydra Balm. What is the full name? I'm just making stuff up over here with the name. It is their Tinted Hydra Balm. So it's a hydrating lip balm, and it comes in a bunch of shades. They actually did send me this, and these are the shades. I have this first one here is 1993, and you know how I feel about a tinted lip balm. Give me all of them because it's just the best, especially in summertime. You just want a little bit of something. So we're going to apply this. Look how pretty that shade is. I can't. Look at that. And what I love about this formula, it just smooths over everything. And it's not super thin, so it really grips onto your lips, but it isn't thick where you're like gooping all over the place, you know what I mean? Let me swatch that actually on here so that we can show you everything side by side. So this is 1993. Is it 1993? Yeah, 1993. And it is so beautiful. This is one that I just absolutely love throwing on. Then the next one, guys, these are so hydrating. This one here is Noble Vine. This one's also very pretty. It also kind of has that brown look to it. However, it is slightly different. It's more of a berry-ish tone. And I'm just gonna, look how pretty that is. And it almost like, you have to tell me if you agree with what I'm about to say. It almost blurs. I feel like it blurs my lips in a way where it kind of, it just blurs. I don't know how to explain it. In a way that looks hydrating, not dry. Do you agree, or am I crazy? Because every time I put this on, I feel like I always am like, oh, this is blurring my lips in the best way. So again, that was Noble Vine. And then this one's so pretty. This one is Vaude Vine. This shade, look at that, look at that. Look how pretty. It's so gorgeous. Make sure. And that's a Vaude Vine. Look how pretty. Those shades are stunning. Look. I swear that just blurs my top lip. I don't know what it is. Very pretty. Not with this eye look. We're going to go back to the first one because we're looking a little crazy with this shade, but it is so beautiful, and I want to make sure that you guys see all the shades because they're so stunning. And that shade, Vaude Vine, with a like very neutral pink cheek or a more bronzy cheek and a very minimal eye. Love this one. Yeah, 1993 is what we're going to go with today. I mean, this is just like my type of shade. It's so beautiful. And they're so hydrating. I feel like it just really smooths everything out in the best way. I really like this formula. It is so stunning. Now let's do a quick recap of everything we talked about. First, the Live Tinted, their Glotion. I really enjoy this. This is a tinted sunscreen that I'm going to be grabbing a lot because it just smooths over the face. It doesn't have a super, like really any sunscreen scent to it, at least that I can detect. And it's so nice. I do like to, in general, with tinted sunscreens, wear sunscreen underneath them. I just double protect, okay? I'm not messing with my skin today. It's the UV's like 1, so I'm not as concerned. But if it was a true sunny day out, I would probably wear sunscreen underneath this, even though if you apply the right amount, you're good, but I'm always just better safe than sorry. I really enjoy this. It's very comfortable to wear. Again, they have 2 shades. This one is the medium deep, and it's very sheer, which I love because it really makes my skin look like skin. Anyways, concealer. Even though I know it's a new shade of concealer, I love this concealer. The Live Tinted concealer is so nice. It's so comfortable to wear, and I don't have any issues with it kind of bunching up, looking kind of falling apart, and kind of looking like when you overcook hollandaise sauce and it breaks. It doesn't look like that under my eyes. It's very comfortable to wear. It's hydrating, gives me great medium coverage. I'm a huge fan. The LYS Beauty, their powder bronzer, I love her. This shade is just everything to me. I really like it. I actually used to have this shade, and then I gave it away, which I don't know why, but I gave it away to someone who I knew would really enjoy it. And so I'm really happy to have her back in my collection. Then we have the liquid blush or blonzer from BareMinerals in the shade Kiss of Rose. I love this. This layered with the powder is incredible. This layered with other products is incredible, and it does last on my cheeks, and it does set down. It is a liquid though, so it's not something that it lasts longer on me than a cream does, but it doesn't last as long as a powder, if that makes sense. On its own, I find that it lasts, I mean, it's still kind of on by the end of the day, but it is faded. Whereas when I layer these two together, I definitely still have blush on by the end of the day, especially if I'm setting my face with setting spray. Anyways, on my eyes. This About Face eye paint, is that what it's called? Eye paint? Am I making that up? No, eye paint is so stunning. It dries down, and let me get a humbling mirror where I can see that I got like mascara all over my lid. But when I get close to a humbling mirror, there's no like, oh, here we go, mascara on my on my eye. But when I get close to it, I'm not seeing any creasing. It sets down so fast in a good way. It is so freaking stunning. I am grabbing more shades. Like, not even a question, grabbing more shades. And then I really enjoy these Hydro Lip Tints. They're just incredible. And yeah, I am really happy with everything in this video. And I would love to know, have you tried any of these things out? If you have, what do you think? If you haven't, do you think you'll grab one? And then also a third question. What do I need to try next? Let me know down below. I know there's a bunch of new launches coming out. I'm definitely going to grab them. And yeah, I love to know what you guys are loving, what you guys want to see from me. Let me know down below. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.